34 Front Beach Road, Panama City Beach. They offer full-service kitchen and bathroom cabinetry, countertops, and flooring. Plus, they also offer cash and carry. Take your cabinets home today. Let Claudia and Marshall help make your dreams of a new kitchen or bathroom come true. Call Kitchen Designs Group, 850-775-4150 to schedule your free consultation or visit their website, kitchendesignsgroup.com. Cash and carry only applies to the Schaefer White.
Now open Saturdays, 9 to 2.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. Ever wish you had a crash course in brakes before you have a crash? Are the terms master cylinder, calipers, and brake pads all Greek to you? Don't worry, when I come back, it's Brakes 101. Welcome to Brakes 101. Knowing how brakes work helps ensure they do work. Master cylinders are the heart of the system. Hearts pump blood. Master cylinders pump brake fluid to all four wheels. Calipers and wheel cylinders, like strong hand muscles, convert brake fluid into stopping power. Brake pads and shoes, like skin, protect caliper muscles from friction caused by stopping. As in biological systems, the blood, muscles, and skin of braking systems are critical to long life, the brakes, and yours. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
In times of war, peace, and every day in between, our military stays vigilant to protect our country. At Hope for the Warriors, we never forget them or the families who serve alongside them. Since 2006, Hope for the Warriors has provided life-transforming programs for active duty and veterans, military families and caregivers, families of the fallen. Go to hopeforthewarriors.org today.
The official radio station of Auburn University football. WGSX Lynn W. Field, Q Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you gotta bet.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, good Monday morning. A little dreary here in the Florida Panhandle. You're listening to the Inside Drive, as always, joined by my co-host, Jay Henley, Director of Instruction out there at Bay Point Golf Club, and DJ Davey Crockett / Dynasty Defensive Coordinator, sitting behind the glass, and he's also the host of the Afternoon Underdogs. Big lot on his plate, that is for sure. We appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Hopefully you're listening live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the Forgotten Coast. As always, you can search and find us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Download our free mobile app. Where, Jay Henley?
On the Google Play Store or Apple Store.
There you go. That was great inflection in that one.
Thank you.
I know I put you on the spot. What'd your mom say about your story from last Friday?
She said that I was a much better reader than she ever was.
Wow.
So,
And that's with the class of 1998 action there.
Absolutely.
Impressive. You did do a great job telling the story. We're going to pick up where you left off at some point today in the show, just because I'm anxious to hear what happens on the rest of that trip down the 1995 U.S. Open with a couple guests that decided to take some psychedelics and watch a U.S. Open.
It was great.
A lot of action going on there. We'll find out a lot more as you dive back into that story. But yes, we are sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. We will be live on location on Thursday. Hopefully, maybe by Thursday, this wet weather that's supposed to come in tomorrow will get out of here so we can be outside somewhere. But needless to say, we'll be there either way. And you've got one more opportunity coming up today. It's going to be 12:40. We're going to take the fifth caller. The fifth fifth caller will have a chance to answer a trivia question about an alligator. If you get it correct, you will be one of 5 finalists with the chance to win that pair of tickets to the Florida State-Florida game coming up on November 25th. Again, that's the Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Fall Football Finale coming up at 12:40. Don't want to miss that last opportunity to be a finalist for that contest. Another awesome contest that it is. Jay, good weekend?
I did. I didn't have as good a weekend as you. I want to hear about this Jacksonville trip and the 49ers.
Yeah, we had some fun out there, and it was good to see the Niners back playing some Niner-esque football. It was exciting. A lot of Niners fans at the Everbank Stadium. I thought it was TIAA Bank Stadium, but I think it recently changed the name to the Everbank Stadium.
Oh, okay.
That's where it's at everywhere on I don't know. They're about to build a new one too, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. A lot of stuff happening there in Jacksonville, but the fair was going on as well. Go ahead, David.
It's just so hard to keep up with. Like, someone needs to pay to keep their name off the stadium.
Yeah, there you go.
Jaguar Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, good to go.
Let's just call it the actual, and yet the Niner Stadium is still called Levi Stadium. Are people still buying Levi jeans?
I guess so, man.
Guess
Where's the Wrangler Stadium?
Yes.
For the rodeo.
Yes, that's for the rodeo or for the Green Bay Packers.
And kind of like in NASCAR, though, is like each week there's a different sponsor change in NASCAR. You know, back in the day, it was like, anyways, there's my NASCAR.
There you go.
But
there you go. The season's over, right?
Yeah, it's over. But at least the track stays the same, right? They're not going there.
Yeah.
They're not sitting there talking about, I'm going to the Buffalo Rock Pepsi 500. No, I'm going to Talladega, or I'm going to Daytona, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll just start calling it by the names of the team that plays out of that particular stadium.
I like it. Jaguar Stadium.
Yeah, Jaguar Stadium. There you go. I guess it was Everbank Stadium. But yeah, no, it was a good time. It was a lot of fun and kind of a lot like today, a little chillier over there. And luckily we had some warmer weather and, all of us were wearing shorts. I don't think Beth was wearing shorts, but we all put on our hoodies underneath our jerseys. And now Beth has to wear a Brandon Ayuk jersey for the rest of the season because that was apparently good luck. But yeah, it was really cool to see all the Niners coming out of the tunnel. It was really cool when Chase Young and Nick Bosa were out on the field together. And they played really well on the field together. But the defense certainly got back to what they need to do. They had 5 sacks of Trevor Lawrence. They had 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and just played really well. I think they had 10 QB hits in that one as well. And although Christian McCaffrey, I had to make a decision. The kids are the ones that made the decision for me. I was either going to wear my Purdy jersey or my McCaffrey jersey. Yeah. Do you know which one I went with?
Did you go Purdy?
No. The kids. I wanted to. But the kids told me to wear the McCaffrey jersey.
Gotcha.
So I think I jinxed him on the touchdown. The Niners scored 34 points, and not one of those touchdowns was from Christian McCaffrey. And he was going for the record, 18 straight. Ends up tied for the record at 17. What happened is they kept scoring on, bigger plays. So they never really got close down to the end zone where they could just punch one in.
Yeah.
It was wild at the end of the game because Purdy came out, Elijah Mitchell came in for Christian McCaffrey, but then the Niners moved the ball down the field with Darnold and all them, and they were at the 20. McCaffrey comes back in. There's 3 minutes left. People are like, why is McCaffrey back in? It's because they're trying to break the record.
Right.
So literally, it was 5 or 6 plays in a row that went to Christian McCaffrey. And it's the defense knew he was going to get the ball. It was just, I've never seen anything like it in sports where they're trying to get somebody. I mean, in basketball and stuff like that, but I've never really seen it in football.
Yeah.
And he ended up not getting in there. But like he said, he said he sucks. He said everybody else on the team scored touchdowns, but not me. And, he didn't get in.
Yeah.
He didn't get in, but
I'm just impressed that you remember all of that because when I go to a football game like that, I'm always people watching. So.
Yeah, well, there were certainly some interesting people watching as well. Right there in our section, a lot of Niners there, several Jags season ticket holders, and interesting as the fourth quarter started, some of those Jags fans around us were leaving, and the people sitting in front of us, we didn't really talk to the whole game. They turned around. The one guy said something. He was going to say something, but then he said to Ryan, he's like, "You have pretty eyes," and then Liam was waving bye to the guy, and he gave Liam the finger right in his face, and Liam just laughed at him. It's like, welcome to sporting events, man. You better learn how to do it. And people are like, oh, they shouldn't do that to kids. I get that. But when you bring your kids to a sporting event, you're going to be subject to seeing certain things. That's for sure. There was another guy down on the field that was getting in verbal arguments with Niners support staff and backup players and all that. It was interesting. But a great time nonetheless, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great, man.
But it was good to see the Niners look much more like the Niners. Purdy had a great game. That bye week and going back home seemed to kind of do well for him. But just fun. He had a very, very good game. Almost threw for 300 yards. What was some interesting facts on that one is the Jags had a lot of pressures on him. He was pressured a career high 50% of his dropbacks against the Jaguars, and he threw for a career high 143 yards when pressured, and he went 8 of 12 with 2 TDs on those passes. I don't know if you saw any of the game or not.
I did. I mean, I just noticed to me how mobile Purdy is.
Oh, yeah.
And how...
and he was sacked twice, too.
Oh, my gosh.
They were pressuring the heck out of him.
Yeah.
Did you see the George Kittle touchdown?
I did.
Did you see how he kind of threw that with nobody, like with no follow through and all that?
Yeah.
I missed that one, too. I was so bummed. I went up at halftime, and I forget how quick halftimes are in NFL, because I turn around, I'm about to walk back out in the thing, and it's up on the TV, and everybody's going nuts because there were so many Niner fans, and it literally was in the end zone right where we were sitting. I got back down there, Liam was like, it was awesome. So that was a good time.
That's great.
It was a good time. The kids enjoyed it. I think even Beth enjoyed, which was fun, too.
Yeah.
She's now a Nick Bosa fan.
Okay.
Once he came out of the tunnel.
Looked like a
guy is
Jolly Green Giant.
Stacked.
Yeah.
It's just huge. Ohio State boys, Chase Young, Nick Bosa, reunited.
Yep.
And we didn't have any injuries. So that's that is certainly a win when it comes to that. But good time over there in Jacksonville. We did some ice skating, got the kids on an actual hockey rink for the first time. They've been ice skating before, but never on a hockey rink ice, which is a lot harder than like if you go to some of these places where they create the ice, like in the winter in the South. It's very soft, a lot easier to skate on when it's soft.
Did you do some skating as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably like walking or...
It's like riding a bike, except your body hurts afterwards because you haven't done it in a while, and you just go skate. Now, there was a gajillion people on the ice, so it was a lot of weaving and all that, but the kids love skating. They do a good job with it.
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, I know they're growing up in the South, but I mean, I'm sure you brought that gene.
When we went to, where did we go one time? We went to the Great Wolf Lodge up in LaGrange.
Yep.
They had an ice rink there, like an outdoor ice skating area. That's kind of what I was referring to, is very soft. And then Sandestin does their ice all winter long. I don't think it's started yet, but they usually do it over there. So they've been skating several times.
Yeah.
Gatlinburg, too, at the top of the Uber Gatlinburg, whatever it's called, they have an ice rink up there as well. So there's your little geographical ice rink locations all over the place. Need to get over to a Pensacola Ice Flyers game.
Yeah, I bet, man. I'd love to do that one day. That'd be great.
Go.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Yeah.
You ever been to a minor league hockey game?
I have the Gwinnett Gladiators.
The Gwinnett Gladiators. They used to play the Augusta Lynx when the Augusta Lynx existed.
Yep.
When we first moved to South Carolina.
Those are fun. Those are fun.
Well, they're fun because the skill level is so much less than the NHL, so there's a lot more hitting and there's a lot more fighting in minor league hockey. It's kind of like any other sport. And that's why high school hockey and college, and high school hockey especially, has some of the most vicious hitting in all of the hockey levels, because there's such a gap between your best players and your worst players. You don't want to be one of those worst players.
I have a Canadian friend. His name is Mark Zuliani.
Oh, what a great name.
Yeah, I guess is that Canadian?
That sounds Italian to me.
Yeah, but anyways, he drugged me to a Gwinnett Gladiators game, and I asked a bunch of questions, and he gave me answers, and I can't remember all the things involved with it. Icing and all that stuff. Anyways.
Yeah. No, it's rules just like any other sport.
Yeah, outside of the rule part, I could never understand, but I love,
once you understand how the game works, it becomes a lot more entertaining. I think David has spoke to that before on the show, where he said, he got into it and learned about it, and watching hockey in person is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's just like for the players, the game kind of slows down for you to some extent. It's not nowhere near how it slows down for the players. Like sometimes they see it in slow motion. But yeah, when you know the rules, it would be like if I sat there and studied cricket, I would have more of an appreciation than what I do have for it. And since there's an understanding there, I can be more fond of it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's just any sport, once you actually know what's going on out there, you can certainly appreciate and understand what's happening. Are we going to form a curling team? I've heard.
I'm down.
We've talked about that before.
Sweeping a lot.
That's right.
What's up with the Pittsburgh Pirates hat today, David?
I'm probably doing practice tonight, but I was going to go, and even if we do that, I'm going to go check out my buddies playing softball tonight.
Okay.
And it kind of goes with the Glizzy Boys jerseys a little bit, mostly for the red bill underneath.
I got you.
Yeah.
David's hat collection is second to none.
Ooh, there's some people out there that's got more, but
Nope.
yeah, over there.
Nope. It's not about quantity. It's about
quality.
Yeah. Once you find that happy medium between quality and quantity, then you're off to something.
Absolutely.
Right, Jay. That's
it.
like teaching the golf swing.
That's it. Yep. Quality, quantity.
Quality, and is it quality over quantity? Always, right?
Always, for sure.
There you go. I heard a Jayism this weekend, and I should have wrote it down in my phone or typed it into my phone, and I didn't, and it's escaping me. It was a good one, though. And it might have been something Beth said. I was like, who are you, Jay? It was good, though.
I thought you may have ran into my third cousin over in Jacksonville this weekend, maybe. But
your third cousin?
Yeah. Third or fourth.
What is a third cousin?
I don't know.
I've never been able to understand how that all works. I know what a first cousin is.
Yeah.
And then I always thought, so if your first cousin has a kid, is that your second cousin?
Maybe. Yeah.
A third cousin is the child of your parent's second cousin.
Whew. So are you even related at that point? Third cousin? No, how far does it go? It goes to 4. So a third cousin is a child of your parents' second cousin.
Yes.
So your second cousin is a child of your first cousin.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
I've never understood it.
I haven't either.
I guess you just call them cousins, right?
Right.
Average percent of DNA shared for third cousins is 0.78%.
It's not even a percent, Jay.
Second cousin is 3.13%.
Man.
Second cousin once removed.
No, what does that mean?
Oh no, bro.
Hey, do you guys still go to the not the little family reunion, but the big family reunion where the fourth and fifth cousins come out?
I've gone to some of Beth's, but I don't have a very big family. I'm an only child, and people are in the Northeast, they're in the West Coast, they're all over the place. So
I love little family reunions.
But what about the big one though? You know.
No.
You tell us, Jay. Do you love it?
When was the last time you've been to one?
I think it's kind of fallen apart probably 15 years ago to the big one, you know,
Yeah.
where the big family.
Where the fifth and sixth cousins are there?
Yes.
Where they're not even sharing
It's
the
like
same
when-
DNA?
When the grandparents kind of stop putting those things together, that's when it falls apart.
It does.
Yeah, because we used to have one yearly out there at Camp Helen. And it's been maybe not yearly, but you know, every 3 or 4 years or so.
More often than not, so to speak.
Yeah, it's been a while. But if I got the opportunity to go and I'm free, then I definitely would do that. It'd be good to see some of the old cousins.
Do you think it's because it's so easy to see what everybody's going on in their lives if they're a social media poster?
Yeah.
Like, we post all the time on social media, and we do a big part of that, especially Beth, because of her family that's not here, so they can see what's going on and all that stuff.
Yeah, but think about it. We spend 5 days a week together.
Yes.
And you post a lot on Facebook. I post moderately on Facebook as well. Jay doesn't really post a ton, but still, the point of that is even with what you post on Facebook, I see you 5 days a week. And still, there's things that happen all the time.
Of course.
Unless we conversate about it, who in the world knows? So.
Right. That's true. We conversate on the air every day. I love the word conversate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a verb.
Is it?
Right?
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, it's a verb.
Good.
Yeah, but I mean, with our generation, is that going to fall to the wayside, though? You know,
that's a good question.
I mean, I don't know. But I used to remember as a kid just enjoying those. Those were so good to go.
Oh, yeah, because you get to play with all your cousins and all that. I was always like, again, because I was an only child, or am an only child, it just wasn't a ton of other. I had a lot younger cousins, and I had a lot older cousins. Like, my cousins on my dad's side are all, in their 40s now, and then cousins on my mom's side are all, less than 20. So I was kind of sandwiched in the middle of all this. But we did go out to Nevada a couple years ago to meet up with all my dad's side of the family. They kind of had a reunion. But my dad, my dad has 4 siblings, and there's only 2 of them that have kids. So we're just not a very big family on both sides.
Which is not bad. Big is not always better.
There you go.
So
it's quality over quantity, right?
Yeah.
That's what you called it.
I do want to thank you for this weekend finding my cell phone for me. Thank you, Ron.
I didn't find it. You knew where it was.
Well, I did, but you were in the I tell you what,
that was the most panicked email I've ever gotten. I can feel your panic in the email.
It was crazy.
Where'd y'all play golf?
We were at Shark's Tooth.
No, must be nice.
And we were coming back. I was in my buddy's back seat, and he drops me off. And so he drops me off, and my cell phone was left in the back seat. And so I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. Unfortunately,
when did you know that it was left in the back seat?
About 2 minutes after I got out of the car.
So
but they had already gone.
Okay, so you were because that's step one is knowing where it is. Because if you don't know where it is, that's a bigger panic.
Yeah.
And then step 2 is getting it back.
Well, and then I don't conversate with my neighbors at all. So therefore I couldn't knock on a door. But Steve was one that
I'm so proud of you for already sneaking conversate into your conversation here. That's good.
So yeah, I'm freaking out, and I'm like, when am I going to get my cell phone back? And so fortunately, you three-wayed with the guy who had my cell phone.
Yep.
And
luckily, I had his phone number.
But I had to find a way to call.
I was just sitting at dinner in Jacksonville. It was no big deal. It's like, hold on, guys, let me find Jay's phone for him.
You were a lifesaver, man. I could have kissed you on a Saturday night.
I'm glad I wasn't there. Yeah, Steve.
I just love the part about that of like, well, I don't talk with my neighbors, so I could never ask them for a favor.
I mean, I think, if they're decent human beings, they would let you borrow their phone to make a phone call.
But the question,
then nobody would answer it because, I would have certainly not answered it.
Well, I wouldn't know the number to any of y'all from that person's cell phone.
Fun fact. Bill, how he's our new assistant pro. He's been there since May. He's our assistant pro. He saw my posting on LinkedIn, and then he had called me out of the blue, and the only reason he called me out of the blue, he didn't have my number, but he remembered my number from college. Because you always had to have one number that you knew by heart in case you got in a little tiny bit of trouble and you had to collect phone number. But yeah, so he called, and the rest is history.
That's crazy.
So moral of the story is you need to memorize somebody's phone number.
You're exactly right. And I suggest others to do the same thing, because this world would be a world of hurt. That's what I figured out.
If everybody's cell phones just blew up, it'd actually probably be a good thing for the world. But
because you listened to this three-way call Saturday night, and we were trying to find...
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you think about this. He didn't have a GPS because he didn't have his phone.
Right.
So Terry's like, where do you want to meet?
Yeah, and
he threw out like 3 places. Jay's like, I have no idea where that is.
He throws out Hobby Lobby.
Well, no, you started with Oakland Terrace Park, which most people know where Oakland Terrace Park is. You turn right on Frankfurt, and you turn left on whatever that street is, and boom, you got the huge park.
Don't have a clue.
You need to get around.
You don't have a clue?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to go watch softball tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll send you the location.
Drop a pin.
Yeah, you can study from there.
Where did you guys end up meeting? Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good place.
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Good, safe place. Lord's Chicken.
There you go. Except on Sunday.
That's right.
Man,
that's good.
Jump into some of these football games here. Sure, there's a wild weekend in football, and they're bound for it again. Alabama and Georgia SEC championship 2023.
It's crazy. I know the writers probably wanted something different, but that's what they got. So
no, I think that's probably good.
What they wanted?
I think that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
My Auburn Tigers on the up and up.
They are looking good.
I mean, it was against Arkansas, but they still look strong. I think we've talked about this. We'll dive into it more because I know we got to take a break. But the whole one quarterback system, if they would have started that maybe just a little bit earlier, it might have. I mean, and they're having a decent season. I mean, Freeze has got them moving in the right direction. We'll talk about that more when we get back. You are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Hey, listen to me, man. You can't play me with that damn style foolishness. You hear me? You got damn lame-ass John starting the damn show, sitting there, and the rest of these clowns calling in. You gonna tell me lame? Listen, man, you get a special damn you. You hear me? And then for you to tell me, damn Michigan, listen.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, clouds and a high of 69 with a moderate breeze out of the northeast at 15 miles per hour. For tonight, a mixture of light sprinkles and clouds and a low near 60. Tomorrow, raining moderately and a high around 67. For Wednesday, pouring rain and a high of 68. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey,
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
At Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, you can find all the necessary items for an unforgettable fishing experience. From pin rods and reels to the best hand-tied rigs in Florida, we have it all. With the help of our friendly and knowledgeable staff, you can be sure that you have the right gear to make that big catch. Come experience a great local bait and tackle shop located directly off 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach, located just 5 miles west of Pier Park.
The locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. Jay Henley, you're wearing a little bit of pink today.
Just a bit.
So that makes me think of the Pink Pony Pub over there in Gulf Shores. I don't know why when I hear Genuine. Well, because of Pony.
Oh, I was
Pink
thinking
Pony
of
Pub.
Pink Pony in Atlanta, but okay, keep going.
That's a different one.
That's a different one.
That's the shoe show up there. We're talking about something different. Did you know back then, they played back then during warm-up yesterday in the game? Everybody got excited. At least the four of us got excited anyway. But yeah, it was a good time.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, you're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The Florida High School State Athletic Association football state championships are underway, and we've got some updates. I know Bozeman and Port St. Joe have been sitting on go waiting for this Friday coming up, but we did have South Walton and Walton facing off this past Friday. Walton got the best of South Walton 63-35 in that one. Big time matchup over there in the 2 suburban Region 1 bracket. You had Pensacola Catholic take it to Swanee 41-6. Big time matchup. You got Walton and Pensacola Catholic coming up this Friday at 7 p.m. That's going to be up there in Definiak Springs as Walton is the number 1 seed. On the second half of that Region 1 bracket in 2 suburban, Wakulla beat Gaston County 46-14. Florida State High School won 41-17 over Mariana. So you've got Wakulla and Florida State University. So you got the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds all competing in those regional semifinals. The winner of those 2 games will face off in the regional finals on November 24th. That's the day after Thanksgiving. And then over there on the 1 rural, say it with me, Jay. Sorry, you were drinking. Rural.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is.
That was better.
Yeah.
That was better. The 1 rural, Region 1, as we mentioned, Bozeman had a bye in the first round, which was the regional quarterfinal. They're going to take on Northview this Friday night coming up out there at Bozeman. Northview beat Jay 31-13. Sorry, Jay, that you got knocked out of the playoffs there. But big opportunity for Bozeman. And then on the other side of that bracket, Holmes County had a bye. Chipley played Vernon. They beat them 42-0. So Holmes County will face off against Chipley. That'll be at Holmes County. The winner of that game will take on the winner of Bozeman and Northview. So excited for the Bozeman Bucks up there. Hopefully they can make a deep run. If they win this game, they got the regional final next. Then they'll move to the state semifinal, and you never know what can happen. They're having kind of a historic season over there. And then on the Region 2 side of the 1 rural state playoff brackets, Bluntstown had a bye in the first round. Sneeds played Cottondale. Sneeds and Bill Thomas got the dub in that one, 46-22. So the number 1 seed, Bluntstown, will host Sneeds this Friday night coming up. And then Port St. Joe, like I mentioned, had a bye there, Jay Henley. They take on Acilla. It's like a millie. The Acilla Christian beat Weewahitchka 27-6. So Port St. Joe will play Acilla Christian. Winner of that game will play the winner of Bluntstown and Sneeds in the regional final game.
The Tiger Shocks.
The Tiger Shocks.
Yeah.
Port St. Joe. Also on the swim and dive side, Dana gave me an update on the 3A. Mosley had several participants in the state finals. The state recap, Chase Peterson finished 9th in diving. Deanna Dolis finished 12th in the 100 free. Mason Gonzal finished 14th in the 100 back. Riley Harris finished 22nd in the 500 free. Kit Long finished 20th in the 100 back and 23rd in the 100 fly. On the girls' side, they finished in the 200-meter relay, they finished 17th. And the 400 free relay, they finished 12th. So congratulations to all the Mosley swimmers and divers as well. I know they had one diver making it to the state championship. So
that's awesome.
It's rounding down the fall sports, and winter sports is underway. I know Arnold High School got a victory on Friday. There was no school on Friday. They went out there and played, I think, Florida High and won that one 4-1. So we'll be paying attention to all the soccer teams coming up here as their season is getting underway.
Yes, sir.
NFL or college, Jay? Which direction you want to go first?
I just know that when I grow up, I want to be a fired NCAA coach.
Ooh, so we'll go that way first. Yeah. I like it. Good start. And what do you mean by fired NCAA? Well, first step in that is you have to get a massive guaranteed contract.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. But when I grow up, I want to be Jimbo Fisher.
There you go.
Because what is that, $75 million to...
Yeah, he's getting paid $77.6 million over the next 8 years, fully guaranteed.
Wow. Where's the incentive to win? I don't think there is one.
That's why you don't fully guarantee the coaches' contracts.
Okay.
Right?
Or players.
NFL side. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk a little NCAA. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of action this
I want to
weekend.
see what his overall record is. His overall record at Florida State was 83-23, and then his total was 128-48. But as we mentioned the previous years, I think he was 45-25 at Texas A&M and 27-20 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he didn't do any. He was actually doing worse than Kevin Sumlin, and he got fired. Are you surprised they fired him, given how much they got to pay?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's a lot of money, and I mean, who
the AD was basically saying they were kind of in limbo. That wasn't the exact word that he used, but they just weren't going anywhere.
Right.
And then they beat Mississippi State by like 41
52
points.
to something.
And it's like, and now the timing is right. That's what I don't understand.
Which lends me to believe that he was getting fired either way, regardless of that. And then the Mississippi State coach, Arnett, got fired this morning.
Oh.
How often does that happen where like the coaches from the same game, you're fired?
The guy didn't even get a full season. That's
yeah, Arnett.
Yeah,
I mean, I do feel bad for him, but
tough shoes to fill too.
Exactly. You got a defensive guy taking over for a team that formerly ran the air raid of Mike Leach's. I was very perplexed whenever they made the hire. Like, why are you putting a defensive guy here? So they did it, and now they'll be moving on. So Jimbo Fisher to Mississippi State.
Yeah, there you go.
He'll probably just take a year or two, do some TV and stuff, but he ain't done with coaching.
Nah. That's what people are like, oh, he'll just retire and ride off in the sunset. If you're a coach, you're a coach. There's the reason why Nick Saban hasn't retired yet.
Yeah.
I mean, but getting back to what you said there, Jay Hunley, do you know the second most expensive firing in college football history behind the $77.6 million from Jimbo Fisher? He now coaches at UCF. Who drummed Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that was wild.
Who is the coach at UCF?
Gus Malzahn.
Oh, yeah.
21.4 was his buyout. Wow. Next was Charlie Weiss at 18.9, Willie Taggart at $18 million, Tom Herman at 15.4, Muschamp got paid 12.9 from South Carolina, Todd Graham at Iowa State 12.8, Jim Mora, forgot he was coaching at UCLA, $12 million, Larry Fedora at UNC $12 million, Chad Morris when he was at Arkansas got 10.1, Texas A&M with 9.9 with Kevin Sumlin. So you throw that 9.9 in with Jimbo Fisher, and that puts you at 86 or 87.5 million between the last two coaches that they fired that they had to pay because of the buyout.
Do you think most of these guys are like, okay, thanks, have a good day, or do you think they fight back?
Well, I think this was coming, I feel.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're like, oh yeah, I'll just take my money and run. No one wants to be fired, regardless, especially when you're a college football coach at a top program.
But you could also make the argument for where, Jim, when the pressure starts getting like that and you're not getting anything done and you got $77 million coming and you know that you're going to get another job in the future, where it makes it a lot easier, and it's kind of like, you know what, this stress has gotten to be too much anyways. Let me take a break from it. So it's interesting. For sure.
I was very surprised, to be honest with you. I didn't think it would happen yet, especially on the heels of what was that score? I got it right here. It was 51-10.
Yeah, so 41 points. Wow.
See ya.
But all those names that you mentioned outside of Texas A&M, like you were going through some of the largest buyouts, and a lot of those have kind of gotten their teams, even if it's not championship aspirations, have gotten themselves into better positions.
Yeah, Auburn.
Outside of Texas A&M, because they basically get rid of Sumlin to get the same exact, if not just a little bit worse.
Record-wise, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Malzahn, obviously they went through the last era there, but now they're on the up and up. Notre Dame has been doing better. Florida State, obviously, has been doing way better. Texas is doing better for sure. South Carolina,
that's a hard one.
That is a hard one. That's just a tough place.
You got to be Steve Spurrier or bust.
Yeah, that's it. You got to find some talent. Iowa State, they bounce around a little bit. UCLA bounce around. UNC, they got the dub against Duke, right? Overtime.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. That one was wild.
I didn't see that. And then Arkansas, Arkansas may be looking for another coach here pretty soon. I got to imagine Sam Pittman's going to be on the hot seat.
I know, and I hate that too, because what we were talking about last week, oh man, this is huge for Sam Pittman, and then you just go out and lay an egg at the house in Fayetteville against Auburn, which, no disrespect to Auburn, but I love that for the Alabama side of things, because where it stands right now, and I'm sure we'll talk about this at length throughout this week, but the Alabama needs Texas to lose, or else you could see, and I know people when you say this are like, how in the world would that happen? If Texas stays where they're at, wins the Big 12, and Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, and Washington's undefeated and wins the Pac-12 championship, and Michigan's there undefeated, and Florida State's there undefeated, then how do you make the decision to take Alabama? There's no lie when you look at the eye test. Alabama right now is playing better football than what Texas is.
Without a doubt.
Doesn't matter, though. They've got that head-to-head win.
Yep.
Which what does that also do in the future? Now, it's going to be a little bit different with the 12-team college football playoff, but it also makes teams a little weary of scheduling those big-time games.
Yeah. Well, and I think if all that happens, what you're saying, I think it just solidifies the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, which this has been the only year that it's really, when it's all said and done. Last year, you could have made the argument that Alabama deserved to be in the Final Five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's probably another team out there, Tennessee. You could make the argument with the healthy Hendon Hooker should have been in the Final Six. You never know what you're going to get out of them. But at the end of the day, when you're just picking four, you do got to pick the best four. I think the committee's gotten it right. Every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. I really did think Texas was going to slip up in that one, and I know you were hoping for it for sure, being a Bama fan. They still got to play who's second in that division? Oklahoma?
Well, I mean, Oklahoma probably now, but Oklahoma has those two losses.
Yeah,
so.
Oklahoma's 5-2 in the conference. Oklahoma State is 5-2 in the conference, but they just took an absolute drumming from UCF, who's 2-5 in the conference. So right now, it looks like it would be Texas and Oklahoma State if the order is correct. You've got Iowa State and Kansas State are all 5-2 as well. That'll all play out.
Yeah, and Kansas and Oklahoma State have the tiebreaker against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So
yep, that's wild. So, coming over there on that one. And what were you more surprised with? Tennessee getting beat like they did by Missouri, or UCF destroying Oklahoma State? I know that's two completely separate ones. Jay, what do you think?
So tell me again, Tennessee what?
When I ask questions, I'm directing them at everybody.
You said, okay, all right, I got it.
Just be ready.
Circle back around.
Circle back. Here we go. Were you more surprised with Tennessee beating Missouri, or Missouri beating, see, this is what happens when you make me ask it again. Missouri beating Tennessee so handedly, or UCF just absolutely dominating Oklahoma State? 45-3 in that one. And I think that Tennessee-Missouri score was, I can pull it up real fast.
I think Missouri.
36-7. Yeah.
Yeah. Missouri beating Tennessee, I think. I mean, Tennessee has been a pretty strong team this year.
Yeah.
So, I think Missouri beating Tennessee.
Yeah. Here's where I'll put it. I think I'm more surprised black and white with UCF, but because I had a little bit more stock, I guess, in a sense, with or pay more attention, I guess, a little bit with Tennessee, Missouri. But Oklahoma, man, you knew that you can 13 and 14, right?
Yep.
So you knew that game you could honestly flip a coin, and I would have never. What surprises me about that is a blowout. But
How
I wouldn't have
lopsided it
even
was.
surprised, or I like. UCF winning in a close one would have been surprising just because of how well Oklahoma State has started playing, but they went back to how they played for the first 4 weeks. So to answer the question, the reality of it is the answer for me is going to be with UCF blowing Oklahoma State out of the water.
And UCF barely lost to Oklahoma, right?
Yeah. They started to play some good football. Randy Pittman did have one reception in that game as well. So.
Yeah.
What division is UCF in? I don't have a clue.
Big 12.
They are They are Big 12. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they moved into it this year, right? Yep, this year they moved to Big 12. And then obviously Oklahoma and Texas will be rolling out of the Big 12 into the SEC. It looks like the SEC championship is matched. I can't see. Turn that off. It's too bright. It's too bright, Randy. There we go. Now I can see. But, yeah, Georgia and Alabama are both now 7-0, destined to meet in Atlanta, Jay Henley.
I mean, all right, so I think Georgia should be back to number one. They put up 600 yards against a top 10 team like Ole Miss, and, I mean, they dominated that game.
Yep, Ole Miss's defense is proven to be terrible, as we kind of knew it was, but you thought they might be able to score a little bit more on Georgia. But, yeah, we can talk more about the college football playoff rankings tomorrow as well. But, yeah, I think now Ohio State drummed Michigan State, but Michigan State and Ole Miss are apples and oranges. And I think at this point, the resume of Georgia, the wins that they've had in the recent weeks, are better than Ohio State's. Yeah. That's my opinion, though. But at the end of the day, maybe Georgia wants to hang out in that number 2 spot because it seems to be motivation, that is for sure. But, yeah, Georgia 10-0 again, Alabama 9-1, both 7-0 on each side of the conference, and this will be the last year of the divisions. Here's what's going to happen again that no one really cares except for me, but because you know how we talk about James Madison quite a bit, right?
Yeah,
and how they are not eligible for postseason play, which means they're not eligible for the conference championship game, and they're not eligible for bowl games or the college football playoff rankings. Coastal got another win last night. That's their 5th win in a row after starting a little bit slow there, 0-2. They're second in the east side of the Sun Belt Conference behind
James Madison.
Yeah. The same scenario happened. Now, that Coastal still has to play James Madison, but it's probably not going to matter. So Coastal played Troy last year in the Sun Belt Conference Championship and got blown out. It shouldn't have been their conference championship to play in because James Madison was the best team on the east side, and it's kind of shaping up where Troy's 5-1 on the west side. They're looking to be in the driver's seat to win the Sun Belt West, and then Coastal could end up being behind James Madison in the Sun Belt East, playing again up there at Troy.
But as we move forward in this
is their last year of the bowl ban.
But your Sun Belt Conference will have a chance to be a national champion as we move further along in this, you think?
Oh, absolutely. If they're in the top 12 for the playoffs.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'm sure, I guess, with the conferences, as far as how good or bad that conference is, will dictate where they kind of end up.
Well, it's just like the top 4 right now with the playoff rankings. I mean, there's a lot of consideration, their resume, strength of schedule, their win-loss record, all that stuff. So, I mean, it gives an the argument's always been, can a non-Power 5 conference make the football playoff? We've seen Cincinnati do it. We saw TCU was in the Big 12. Cincinnati wasn't in the Big 12 yet. So this kind of opens that door, so to speak, for some of these non-Power 5 conferences to maybe get into the playoff.
Right.
And that's kind of the whole point, what you guys were just talking about a minute ago with the whole thing with getting in, the top 5, who's better, who deserves to be in there. When you got 12 teams, now you're going to have the argument with 12, 13, 14 and all that stuff, but it opens up the door for a lot more people. If we were already in the 12-team playoff, we'd have teams like Alabama, Texas, we'd definitely be in there and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
and from a fan perspective, I want to be able to see like a Coastal Carolina play a Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get the brakes beat off them, but it'd be cool just to be in there.
Absolutely.
It gives more people an opportunity to shoot for something. Right now, there's a very small group of teams that are going to make the playoffs that have the opportunity to. When you open up to 12, that gives a lot more avenues for teams that may not have had a chance to be in there. But we're going to go ahead and take a break. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Hey, Jay, what's up, man? You okay?
Check this out. I just told my wife she could remarry after I die, but he's not allowed to use my golf clubs.
What the heck did she say to that?
Don't worry, he's left-handed.
Harsh, brah.
Yup.
Join Ryan Mulvey with the Inside Drive. Middays 11 to 1.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Bestway Portable Buildings offers a huge selection of portable buildings in just about any size, from the smallest to the largest. And Bestway's prices won't scare you away. Bestway is closing out 2023 with some of the most affordable prices ever. And while there, don't forget to say hello to Bestway Buddy. He may even give you a polygraph. Right, buddy? Bestway Portable Buildings, 2919 Highway 231 North in Panama City. The best in portable, period.
Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's alive! Look alive!
We're alive!
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I mentioned this song, and guess what? It came up on the docket. Want to set the record straight, Jay Henley, from our little promo there for the Inside Drive. You are not married.
I am not.
It is just a promo.
It is.
And it's for ha-has. And it's for good ha-has.
That's right.
So just setting the record straight for all the listeners out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ron.
How's Sailor?
Doing great. She's growing. A little 10-week-old now. Golden
you can't
retriever.
keep saying the same week that you got her at.
Right.
Time passes by.
Time does pass. But, she's a cute little blonde, golden retriever. Almost white. I mean, she's kind of like a
beautiful,
white cream.
Beautiful color.
And
she's so sweet, too.
She is. Tried to give a golf lesson earlier, and she was a little yappy this morning, but so she went back to the house.
Yes.
But
hey, no, it's good. The more you get her out, the easier it'll be as she gets older to do well where she's out in various locations. A couple other score updates from the weekend. Florida State took care of business against Miami. I know everybody's a little nervous. It was 10-10 at half, but it's why you play two halves of football, and Florida State came out on top of that one, 27-20. That's one of those games, in my opinion, regardless of how good or bad both teams are, it's one of those old rivalry games that you're going to get the best effort, especially from the team that is not having as good a season as the other one. So Florida State moves to 10-0. They hit their over-under win total for the season that Vegas put it at 9.5. 8-0 in the ACC. They've already clinched their spot in the ACC championship, which I'm going to assume who's that going to be against, Jay-Hone? Is that going to be against the Louisville Cardinal?
Yes, they are inching closer to,
but not set in stone yet, right? So right now, yes, Louisville is 6-1. North Carolina is 4-2. So I think if Louisville wins this week, that'll do it. And then you'll have your ACC championship set. And I know Alan Sandage is going to be going to the ACC championship with his new gig up there at ESPN Richmond.
Nice.
I think he was texting us about that. And he's excited about that. So that'll be cool. That'd be cool.
Is it in Charlotte?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
And I would say it's Bank of America Stadium,
Yeah,
but
we
I have
won't go
no
there.
idea what they do nowadays.
Right.
So that is for sure. But yeah, Florida State got it done, maintaining that spot there, their number 4 spot, playing good football. They got kind of not an off week, but they play the University of North Alabama this week before they go to the big matchup that we're going to be not giving away a pair of tickets, giving away a chance to be one of 5 people to win that pair of tickets coming up at 12:40. That's the Bill Kramer and Kramer Marine Outdoor Fall Football Finale. You'll have to answer a trivia question about an alligator. If you get it right, you'll have a 1 in 5 chance to win a pair of tickets to that football game. Ohio State took care of business against Michigan State, who's not very good, 38-3 in that one. Your Georgia Bulldogs, you were talking about it briefly. I want to get David's opinion on this as well. Georgia beats number 9 Ole Miss 52-17 after beating Missouri, who I think was ranked 12th or 13th when that game went down. Is it time for Georgia to be number 1?
I mean, Penn State or Michigan with the top 10 win against Penn State.
Yeah.
I'm never back down off of. I think Georgia should be number 1, but also I think you saw a lot out of Kyle McCord and Carson Beck this week. So those quarterbacks are moving in the right direction. The offenses are moving in the right direction. Georgia, as we know, is a scary team. Ohio State can be as well. I mean, Michigan didn't even throw the ball in the second half. The one pass that they did throw didn't even count because of a penalty.
Yeah.
So, I think back-to-back championships and you're blowing teams out of the water. Like, what's more impressive? Ohio State blowing Michigan State out of the water. Should they retain their number 1 spot for not doing anything wrong? Whereas Georgia comes in and blows out a top 10 team and out of the water. So, to me, yeah, it should be Georgia number 1. But, again, even this week, next week, and so what number you got beside your name after the conference championship? You
That's
can only do what you can do. Yeah,
that's right. Utah came close to beating Washington there. Did you see the crazy thing that the linebacker did?
I didn't.
I don't understand why people do this. Get into the end zone first before you drop the ball. He intercepted the ball, was running in to score. He dropped it clearly before he crossed the plane, and then a Utah guy runs down there and gets on it. Luckily, for Washington's sake, they got a safety. I think it was on the next play. What would have happened if Utah goes down and scores and wins that game? You're talking about like a $20+ million mistake when it comes to making it potentially to the college football playoff.
I call that a Willie Mays Hayes moment.
Willie Mays Hayes?
Don't ever do it again.
Don't ever do it again. Who was it on the NFL? Deshaun Jackson that was famous for doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be a one-time thing.
You got that right.
And why is it okay when you do that?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I'd be sitting you down
yeah.
for a while. I don't care if you're the best linebacker on the field.
Showboating. Man, I mean, you would think that lesson would be learned after the first, because how humiliating is that to do that? I can't imagine.
Apparently, it's not a big deal. You just do it and, just drop the ball early.
Yeah.
You just don't drop the ball.
Mm-mm.
Get into the end zone first.
Absolutely.
That shouldn't even be a conversation.
No, not at all.
It's like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe there was no brain, and that's why he dropped it beforehand.
Yeah.
Oregon handed USC its 4th loss of the season. USC is now 5-3 in the Pac-12. Oregon 9-1, 6-1 in the Pac-12, holding down that number 6 spot behind Washington. Bo Nix now moves into the top position as far as Vegas odds are concerned in the Heisman race. In that particular game, he threw for 412 yards and 4 touchdown passes. So he is now, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, -110. Jaden Daniels has now jumped into that second spot, tied with Michael Penix at +400. See what Jaden Daniels did.
What'd he do?
He accounted for 606 total yards and 5 touchdowns. He became the first quarterback in FBS history to have at least 350 passing yards and 200 rushing yards in a game as LSU defeated Florida 52-35 on Saturday night.
Good gracious.
I mean, he should be the front runner, right?
You would think.
In Heisman?
Yeah.
I just want to hear David's reaction on that one. No, I want Bo Nix to win because I did a futures on Bo Nix before the season started, and it's getting better and better each week. But
if we were to just go by statistics and statistics,
then you could do it one of these teams that nobody even knows.
Exactly, and at the end of the day, you got to have those Heisman moments, and if your losses are, even if it's not coming down to you, so Caleb Williams should be, atop the list up there with everyone else. And so that at the end of the day, with only 12 games, No, I mean, I think it's Penix and Nix.
Yep.
Those are your two guys. I think that you obviously Marvin Harrison can be thrown into that conversation as well. Now, the guy I would watch out for, and I don't really have any belief that he would win it, but Jalen Milroe right now is a guy.
All the way up to plus 5,000. Yeah, he's moving closely up. Well, Alabama record, right? 6 touchdowns?
Yeah, 6 touchdowns.
3 in the air, 3 on the ground?
I think he needed 7 to tie to his record. But
I probably just misread a headline.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But either way, what I'm getting at is just him scoring these touchdowns, that's good and all, but if he gets into the SEC championship and has a couple of moments there and Penix and Bo Nix, but as long as Penix and Bo Nix do their thing, they're going to be above Jalen Milroe, even if he has a crazy win against
because of
Georgia.
Everything that's transpired already.
It is about a full season here, but you can't take away from what Jaden Daniels has done, though. I don't want that to be misleading just because I don't think that he is really in the Heisman race. I mean, the numbers he's putting up is ridiculous.
Yeah, kid can run. I mean, he's going to be, he's moving. His draft stock is certainly increasing. There is no doubt about that. But yeah, LSU's lost 3 games this season, lost to Florida State, lost to Ole Miss, and lost to Alabama. And like you always say, Jay, what defines that? It's usually the best player on the best team, or at least one of the better teams out there. That's
with
for
those
sure.
stats of LSU. I mean, they shouldn't be losing,
right?
I mean, this is bottom line. But yeah, he should. I mean, with those stats, he should.
There's another side of the ball. Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Ask Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned earlier, Texas took care of business, or not took care of business, survived against the not-so-good TCU Horned Frogs, 29-26, and survived a rally of 20 points scored by TCU in that fourth quarter. Alabama looked like Alabama against Kentucky on the road, 49 there. It says Alabama makes history with the Jalen Milroe makes Alabama history with the 6 TD performance. I don't know exactly what that's defining, but another huge game by Milroe. He is certainly becoming the quarterback that everybody thought he would be. Look out for him next year, that's for sure. Your favorite, Jay, the Oregon State Beavers took it to Stanford 62-17. A lot of rushing yards in that one. Martinez, the running back for Oregon State, rushed for 4 touchdowns. As we mentioned earlier, Missouri beat Tennessee 36-7, handing the Volunteers their 3rd loss of the season, 3-3 in the SEC East. UCF took down Oklahoma State big time, 40. I was hoping to see a Randy Pittman touchdown or something like that in that one. That would have been exciting to see. Texas Tech upset Kansas 16-13, and just goes to show you, any given day, Jay, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Not anybody, but all these good teams, that's for sure. Like we mentioned, LSU beat Florida 52-35 on the heels of the best offensive performance by a quarterback in NCAA history. Arizona also took down Deion Sanders in 34-31 there. Arizona now moves to 7-3, 5-2 in the Pac-10. Colorado goes to 4-6 on the season, 1-6 in the Pac-12. But they beat that total, that 3.5. They're at 4. God, it's wild how good Vegas is at these win totals.
I remember back in July, you had asked me what Colorado would do this year, and I think I went like 9-2 or something. But
hey, shoot for the stars!
Yeah, absolutely.
You never know until they play the game.
Yeah,
we talked about this on Friday, and that was the under in the Iowa-Rutgers game was 27.5. I couldn't resist myself. I took it on the Hard Rock app, and
you went under.
I went under, and it was close. It was 22-0.
No,
but Iowa scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. It was only 6-0 going into the fourth quarter. So you felt good about it, but then it got closer and closer. And they had the ball in Rutgers, red zone, but then they just ran out the clock, thankfully. So that was cool. Tulane, number 24, according to the college football playoff, is beat Tulsa 24-22. And then, as we mentioned earlier, that double overtime thriller, Duke failed on the 2-point conversion. North Carolina won that one 47-45. It's almost like a little basketball game there, it seemed like. Kansas State beat Baylor 59-25. Jay Henley.
So it's 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. That's the record for Jalen Milroe.
Okay.
Tua holds the single game touchdown record at 7
total. Yeah. It's a lot of touchdowns in one game by one individual.
He's also number 2 at number 6, tied with Bryce Young and Jalen Milroe.
There you go. Old Tua, lefty, Dolphins.
How'd they do this week?
Bye week.
Oh, they did great.
Yep. They didn't lose.
There you go.
They didn't lose. That is for sure. Get back. We got about 2 minutes left, Jay.
Yeah. Hey, I went on and did the Hard Rock Bet thing over the weekend. I'm on a waiting list.
Yes. If you would have listened to the show on Friday, you would have known that you've got to sign up for the Unity thing.
I thought I'd take that chance, though.
Just roll the dice.
Yeah.
David got in.
Now, my question is, if I took a fisherman that goes into international water, can he take my phone out there, bet, and bring them back in the same day?
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
I got to go to Mississippi?
It's gambling.
Yeah.
That's like table games.
Oh, okay.
Table games and slot machines. I don't think they have sports books on the casino boats.
Hard Rock Bet app, I have to be in the state of Mississippi to
Florida.
Huh?
Florida. You can legally bet in the state of Mississippi.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You can do it on BetMGM or any of that stuff, FanDuel and all that. That's one of the states that's completely legal. Right now, we've got the loophole in Florida with the, I think it's called a compact or something like that. Whatever it was that's been, it was 2 years. Then it came back after. We're waiting to hear what happens with the Florida Supreme Court right now.
I got it.
But in the meantime, go lose
I'm
money.
on a wait list. Yeah.
Hey, it's probably good, right?
It is. It's really good.
Betting wouldn't exist if the house didn't always win.
That's right.
Speaking of betting, that was good. We can get into this one real quick. We've talked about it quite a bit, but where did it go?
It was a guy from Florida, right?
Yeah, a guy from Florida. You remember we talked about it last week when Hard Rock just opened. They bet like $1 million on Kent State plus 10.5, and then this past weekend, don't know if it's the same person or not, but they put $1 million or $500,000 on a fun little parlay. Let me pull it up real quick because I know we got a break coming up here in a second. I'm going to try to get it past. Where is it? All it says is relegate the NFC South. All right, we'll just go ahead and take a break. When I get back, I'll find it. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Start your morning with sports updates, interviews, reactions, lively discussions, insights, and expert analysis.
I think in our lifetime, we will never see another undefeated team.
Join Evan, Canty, and Michelle weekday mornings from 5 to 7.
It will never happen again.
On the Sports Talk Monster.
If anyone deserves the benefit of the doubt for one last chance, it's Bill Belichick.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, clouds and a high of 69 with a moderate breeze out of the northeast at 15 miles per hour. For tonight, a mixture of light sprinkles and clouds and a low near 60. Tomorrow, raining moderately and a high around 67. For Wednesday, pouring rain and a high of 68. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer, is thankful for your support this year and is giving you holiday savings on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia. Just in time for holiday travel adventures, now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $2,165 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Quality is limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/24.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're starting fresh. Fresh when you start.
Locally sourced, farm to radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Listening live and local on 104.3 in Panama City, Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch us on Facebook, X, or YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Go download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Anytime you can go to ESPNPC.com, click that Listen Live button. While you're there, click the little TV logo. It'll take you to FHS TV. You can sign up there for only $42 a month, plus whatever you have to pay for the streaming for your internet, because you got to have an internet connection to do that. Again, that's over 4,000 channels for just $42 a month. Jay, before we hit the break, we're talking about sports betting, right?
Yes.
Well, some excitement was going on, and it was on the heels of the Texans. One of the largest payouts on a parlay ever reported by a U.S. sportsbook came down to the final seconds and a winning drive authored by none other than probably Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud. A bettor in Florida won $5.5 million on a $500,000 four-leg NFL parlay with the newly reopened Hard Rock Sportsbook when Texans kicker Matt Amendola hit that 38-yarder to lift Houston to a 30-27 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. That four-leg parlay was the Houston Texans outright against the Bengals. The Bengals Texans to go over 44.5 points. Texas running back Devin Singletary to score a touchdown and also go over 51.5 rushing yards. They all hit. The underdog Texans upset the Bengals. Singletary rushed for 150 and a touchdown, and Stroud completed 3 of 4 passes to get Houston into field goal position on that final drive. Hard Rock Sportsbook posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, noting the big parlay payout. They said, who else cooked us? As we've mentioned, the Hard Rock Online Sportsbook in Florida has been closed for 2 years while a legal battle played out all the way in the U.S. Supreme Court. Since its reopening last Tuesday, a source familiar with the action said the $1 million bets have not been uncommon. As we mentioned, we talked about it before the break, a bettor in Florida placed 2 bets totaling $1.546 million on one-win Kent State football team against Bowling Green. They had bet $1.12 on Kent State plus 10.5 and $426,000 on Kent State at the money line. As I mentioned, Bowling Green destroyed them 49-19.
I mean, if you had $300 million in the bank, would you throw $1 million on a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's all perspective, right? Like a $5 parlay. It's the same thing, you know. Yeah. And our good friend Alan Sandage had a massive parlay hit as well. Is that him on the line right there? Look at that segue, Alan. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Yes, I bet you are. We're doing good. That was a good one. We were just talking about, you probably obviously heard, talking about how Hard Rock Sportsbook is open and everybody's placing these big-time bets, and that was a nice parlay win. But tell everybody about your parlay win that you had this weekend as well. How many legs in yours?
It was 8 legs. I didn't win, $5.5 million, unfortunately.
Yeah, but proportionately, you turned $9 into a good chunk of money.
Yeah, I'll run you guys through it real quick because it is kind of the craziest thing I've ever done. So I had a $10 free play on.
You did it on a free play?
Yeah. So it's funny. I had a $10 free play. Got an alert on my email on Friday afternoon. I was like, I don't even use this account. Logged in, and I tried to put it in a parlay, and they wouldn't let me. I had to do one single play. So I put $10 on the Lakers to cover against the Suns. So that free play turned out like almost $9. I took that $9 and I put it on an 8-team parlay for NFL. I had the Colts to cover, the Browns to cover, the Niners to cover, the Vikings to cover, the Commanders to cover, the Raiders to cover, the Cardinals to win outright, and the Texans to cover.
Whew. Wow. And that last game you needed last night was those Raiders.
Yeah, man, the freaking Raiders, like, that lets you know what level of degenerate I am. I had $1,400 riding on the Raiders, and I refused to hedge because I was like, I'm just happy to be here at this point. I'm not hedging on the Raiders. And so I just let it ride. And, $9 turned into $14.59.22 is what was in my account this morning.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
And that's what keeps everybody coming back.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Just like golf.
I feel pretty cool. But, yeah, and the funny part about that is that I had a great Saturday, which hasn't happened all year. It seems like the better I've been doing in NFL, my college football has suffered a little. But I had a great Saturday. I woke up Sunday literally with the flu, so I couldn't even go anywhere. And I was doing a podcast, and I was like, yeah, it's my flu game. I'm just going to throw some stuff out there and see what happens. I'm feeling pretty good. And lo and behold, I hit that.
And it was a wild NFL weekend nonetheless. We haven't dove into NFL yet, but record 5 walk-off field goals in Week 10. There was another game-winning field goal. It just wasn't as time expired. So if you want to add that one in there, technically there was 6 winning field goals in this week coming up, including that game you were talking about.
Yeah, and I was like gung-ho slandering the kicker for the Raiders. I do not like him or his brother.
Oh, all guys.
I was like, I got to depend on this guy, but hey, he came through last night, and we'll forgive him for at least one game.
There you go. But yeah, you had the Detroit Lions walked off against the Los Angeles Chargers. As you mentioned, you had the Houston Texans walked off against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then you had the Cleveland Browns walking off against the Baltimore Ravens as they looked like they were in no man's land in that game. Can't believe they came all the way back to that one. And then you also had the Seattle Seahawks walk off against the Washington Commanders 29-26 in that one. And then with the poor AFC South, Kyler Murray's return to the Cardinals led to a walk-off field goal. And I wanted to talk about that NFC South just for a minute while we got you on the phone. They were an 8-9 team last year, won the division, and this year the leading division is the Saints. The leading team in the division is the Saints at 5-5. The Bucs got the dub yesterday to go to 4-5. Falcons now dropped to 4-6, and then the lowly Panthers are 1-8. So just a tough division there. Not to pick on your former team, the Atlanta Falcons there, Jay Henley, but they seem to be haunted a little bit in the last few games. They're losing to these guys that they have no business losing to. But Alan, what do you think about CJ? What do you think about CJ Stroud and his rise in the Houston Texans maybe making a run at that NFC South?
Yeah, I mean, CJ's amazing, man. Like, there are things that I've seen on film and in games that just it's just not what I'm used to seeing from, like, rookie quarterbacks. And I told somebody this morning, it's very rare that I leave any game without any complaints, and I haven't had a complaint on CJ for 2 weeks. Even the interception he threw, I kind of saw what he was looking at, and it's just one of those things where it was just a great defensive play and a miscommunication. But he literally bounced back immediately after that and scored or led them down the field. So he's just poised beyond his years, and the game is transitioning to him so quickly. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Burrow was a little cold yesterday, I felt like. Two interceptions, which is unlike him a bit. Is that, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing with Burrow, and I'm not picking at Keith, but I'm telling you, every time he has a bad game, people have so many excuses for him. He's a risk taker. I mean, that's what he does. And the interceptions he had yesterday were forced passes. I think he could have went somewhere else with that. There was a lot of opposing jerseys. They were playing zone, and typically when Burrow has trouble is when people rush 3 or 4 and drop 5 or whatever. They play like this deep cover 2 zone on them, and he just tried to force it yesterday. So I don't think it was anything of him being out of sync. It's just that the Texans were ready for him.
Yeah. And after our boy Brock Purdy's performance yesterday, he's back in the lead of quarterback rating with a 109.9 after a very solid performance yesterday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mentioned earlier on the show, Alan, but he was pressured a career-high 50% of his dropbacks, and on those pressures, he threw for 143 yards and was 8 of 12 with 2 TDs, including that great TD pass to George Kittle that I was up at the concession stands when it went down. What did you think of the Niners' performance yesterday? The Niners that back like we need them to be?
Yeah, as long as they're healthy, it's great. It's just a testament to how delicate this situation is. We can't afford to lose Trent or Debo.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, we just can't. Like, Trent because he anchors the line on the left side, and Debo because we don't get the same looks defensively or the same action when he's not in the game. It's wild. But if Brock Purdy throws back across his body again, you got to see me.
I had a panic attack watching that one. I was like, is he going to throw to somebody? I thought he was going to run it first, and then he throws it all the way back across, and I was telling all the Niners fans around us, like, that was a risky throw that paid off, and that could have changed everything because they intercept that one. Maybe it's a whole different ball game. But it's pretty cool seeing Chase Chase Young and Nick Bosa out there on both sides of the line and meeting at Trevor Lawrence, to say the least. And it was fun. It was good to see them back to the Niners that we expected, but health is key. When Debo is out there, he may not be getting the ball every time, but when he's in motion, he's pulling guys, and that opens up things for Brock and the play action and McCaffrey and all that, and I think we saw that yesterday.
Could you imagine being Trevor Lawrence? You get away from these guys after 3 years in Clemson, and then you got to see them again in the NFL?
No, it's haunting. Just
yeah.
It's and Trevor Lawrence is a really, really good quarterback. I was watching him yesterday play, and some of the balls he was throwing were just fantastic, but his O-line was just not giving him any time, and it was a tough. They just seemed to abandon the run game fairly early, and that's kind of what they went in London, and they're kind of like the Dolphins a little bit. The Jags, they beat teams that don't have winning records, but when it comes to teams with winning records, they just don't have it.
Yeah, and I got to say, on a little side rant, Richard Sherman went in on Trevor Lawrence on Twitter this morning, and it's really easy to talk about people when they have their worst games. But, if you've been watching Trevor Lawrence all year, there's been plenty of times where you could have been critical. You don't need to wait until he plays literally the best pass rush he's seen in his entire NFL and collegiate career and goes against a team that technically they are not as good as. I mean, the Niners at full strength are a top 2 team in the NFL, and the Jaguars at full strength at best are in the bottom 8 or 9 spot in the NFL. So there's a huge gap between talent there. And I thought he did what he could with what he had, but I just think it's just too easy to pile on people when they have these games where they're going to lose. You don't have to wait to watch the Giants lose to the Cowboys by 30 to be like, I told you they suck. Come on, man, that's too easy.
Yep, layups for these people.
Do you think this, this next 2 weeks for you guys, 49ers, is going to be pretty tough? I mean, obviously you've got the Buccaneers at 4:05 this Sunday, but then you turn back around on Thanksgiving Day and play in Seattle. I mean, is that going to be tough? Tough to play
if we're healthy.
The Niners have to flip the script. They've got to go on another run, and they can't afford to lose another game until December, honestly. And we can't afford to drop a game to the Seahawks because we're pretty tight right now, record-wise in that division.
We just hold the tiebreaker because we're 2-0 in the division. But then right after that, Jay Henley, I think we got the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field. So we got to win these next 2, and then hopefully maybe we can sneak into Philly and get a win, which would be crucial for the NFC race. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
I had a point, and I forgot what it was, Jay.
You guys got the Cardinals, then the Ravens, Commanders, and finish it out with the Rams. So, I mean, there's really not a lot of big,
And we play on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
And haven't had a Niners game on either one of those days in quite some time. We played the Bucs at home last year. I don't know why we're playing them at home again this year.
Huh.
The only reason I remember that is because Frank Hall went out there for that game, and that's where Brock Purdy scored a rushing touchdown. It was his his first full game, if I'm not mistaken, starting against Tom Brady, and they look strong. But it's like Alan said, it's all about the health. In any team in the NFL, it's all about the health. That is for sure. Alan, wanted to ask you a question. We haven't talked about it yet. What do you think of this whole Michigan situation?
Yeah, I've got a conspiracy theory out that whoever is behind this is actually somebody that's associated with Michigan. I know Michigan fans want to blame Ohio State and everybody else, but the fact that they couldn't get that injunction heard or ruled in their favor in the state of Michigan is kind of telling to me. And from what I was reading, the judge just didn't make a decision at all, essentially just let it time out and just refused to rule on it, which is crazy because you would think in your home state, with an alumnus as the judge, it would be pretty easy, considering how big these next 3 games are, to get Jim Harbaugh back on the sidelines. But it's just one of those things that just makes me wonder, who did he make mad and why? Jim Harbaugh has done nothing to the University of Michigan to warrant this kind of heat. But the man's been suspended 6 games this year. Somebody's after him. That's what it says to me.
Yeah, it's just very, very odd that it's all, coming to this for sure. And a lot of people forget that he was the first 3 games of the season he was suspended?
Yep. First 3 and the last 3.
And that was for the alleged doing something that you weren't supposed to during the COVID years?
Yeah, and he lied to the investigators, which I'm not defending that. He got caught lying. That's fine. The whole stealing signs thing, it's one of those things where even though it was extreme and it shouldn't have happened, any other conference would have smothered this out so long ago. Like, the state of college football, there's bigger things going on than something like this, especially when people anticipate it anyway. So the fact that they just made this into this big drawn-out thing is just weird to me. I don't understand what the Big Ten's game is right now.
Well, the post-game interview with the interim coach, man, that was straight up emotion that he was given. You know, I don't know if you saw the post-game interview, but, man, I mean, he was truly emotional about that win.
Yeah, he was rightfully emotional, and I know the team is backing him, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm subscribing to the whole Michigan versus the world thing too, because like Desmond said, it's true. If this was Alabama and this was the SEC, we wouldn't be talking about this because they would have smothered this story.
Yeah, and that's on the conference, right? More so than anything.
100% on the conference, and in the same breath, the ADs and presidents that are coming after Michigan, like, we don't talk about it a lot as fans, but at the end of the day, this is still a team thing. Like, if one team looks bad and brings down the conference, then everybody's going to suffer for that. So piling on to Michigan financially doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't do anything for their standing on the changing college landscape. You want Michigan and Ohio State game to be meaningful. You want the drama. You want both of them in the playoffs if you can help it, just for the exposure, because again, college football is changing. These conferences are getting different. Oklahoma and Texas are going to the SEC. Like, what does that do to the Big Ten's image? You know, like, it's a long game. And for me, this seems really short-sighted on the conference's standpoint of just going after Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. They could have waited to the end of the season.
Yeah, just like you said, it's kind of your wheels start spinning a little bit, and you're like, what does everybody have against Jim Harbaugh?
Yes. I don't like the guy either, but I wouldn't go after him for this.
I'm still disappointed we didn't win a Super Bowl, but that's neither here nor there. That guy doesn't muff the punt. We're probably in a different scenario. Alan, what about the game coming up tonight? Buffalo's favored by 7 points at home, Monday Night Football against the Russell Wilson-led Denver Broncos. What do you think happens in this one? I know the Bills desperately need to win this football game.
Yeah, the Bills are desperate, and I was joking this morning. I went 10-12 or 10-2 in my picks on the radio Friday, and I ended up picking the Broncos this game, and my host picked the Bills. So we're locked at 10 apiece. So this game is going to decide who wins for us. I'm staying with the Broncos. I just like the trend of them being a team that's covering lately. I know there's travel and all these other little variances, but I feel like the Bills, after the injuries, haven't been whooping up on bad teams like we're used to seeing them do. And I think 7.5 is what I'm seeing for the Broncos more than 7. I like 7.5 with the Broncos. Anything under 7, if you go with the Bills, you're more than likely on the right side of it, I think.
Yeah, there you go. What do you think about the over-under being at 47.5?
Over-under being at 47.5. I've been seeing most people looking at the over, but I would go with the under here. I think we're going to get an ugly game, and I don't think the Broncos are explosive enough offensively to really, push an over.
Yeah, no, I mean, and this is kind of one of those games, and especially the Bills' last several games, at Cincinnati was 24-18, but if I remember correctly, that first half, it was pretty slow getting started. They beat the Bucs 24-18. They did lose to New England. God, I forgot about that, 29-25. But the Giants, the terrible, terrible New York football Giants, they beat 14-9. Lost to Jacksonville 25-20. So it's not like you said, they're not blowing out bad teams. Now, they did have a good win against Miami, but that was a month and a half ago at this point. So they certainly need to get this win for the playoff race, as we haven't gone over the playoffs yet, but I don't even think that they are in the mix right now as far as the standings are concerned.
If they are, they're on the very end of it.
Yes, they are ninth right now. They are two spots out of that last spot.
That loss to the Bengals really set them back like another 25-30% as far as their chances.
Jay, what do you think about your Bills? Are they going to win tonight?
I think so. I think they're going to pull it out.
There you go.
I do.
Are they going to cover?
7.5.
I think the line officially is 7, but if you can get it at 7.5, I think that's what Alan was saying.
You know what? I'll take the middle school basketball score from last week, 24-10. I'll take that.
That's a little bit of butt whipping there. That's still the under though.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
There you go.
And look, if the Bills don't make the playoffs, expect Sean McDermott to be fired. I don't think they're giving him another chance.
I just don't know how they could at this point. Because, a win for me now, and he's just, maybe Dayball gets fired from the Giants, goes back to the Bills, and see what happens.
In what capacity?
Yeah.
Nobody's let that man coach a team. You can blame Josh McDaniels too, man. Like, if you listen to how they talk about him, nobody at that organization liked him. So I'm getting that vibe from Dayball. For real, I want to like the guy, but it's just not translating on the field this year, and it's really telling.
Yeah, very, very bizarre. Hey, Alan, we got our break coming up. Appreciate you giving us a call. Congrats on that awesome 8-leg parlay, and congrats on, again, I'll say it again, the new gig up there, sports director for ESPN Richmond. Good luck beating your host. Hopefully you break that tie and you end up winning.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care. That's Alan Sandage. Jay, when we get back, we're going to reveal our picks from this past week. Don't forget, we got the contest coming up at 12:40. I'll go over it more when we get back. You're listening to The Inside Drive.
Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Monday. The remainder of the day, clouds and 69 with a moderate breeze around 15 miles per hour out of the northeast. Tonight, very light rain and clouds with lows around 60. Tomorrow, raining moderately with a moderate breeze and a temperature near 67. Moving into Wednesday, about the same with a high of 68 and pouring rain. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Sports fans, we love our teams, but let's talk real estate for a moment. Meet Berg Title, your trusted local real estate title and escrow company. Based in downtown Panama City, Berg Title knows the community inside out. They handle everything from title searches to escrow services with expertise. Honest, reliable, and here to make your real estate journey smooth. Remember, it's Berg Title. Call them at 850-250-2900. That's Berg Title, your partner for a worry-free real estate experience in Panama City and Panama City Beach.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue? Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Jay, what's coming up on December 2nd?
Is there a marathon happening?
There is. There's the Daybreak 76 Panama City Beach. That felt a little bit like your left-handed club's little shtick and spiel ad we did there. But yes, it's the Daybreak 76 Panama City Beach Marathon. That's going to be Saturday, December 2nd. Proudly presented by Visit Panama City Beach and hosted by the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. That's a marathon, half marathon, 5K, or a kids fun run. It's also a Boston Marathon qualifier. If you want to register for that on December 2nd, just go to pcbmarathon.com, click that register button, use code ESPN RUN, and you'll get 10% off your run. What's coming up at the end of this segment, Jay?
We're giving away, a finalist.
The finalists. We're trying to get our fifth and final finalist for the Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Fall Football Finale. When we get to the break, we're going to take the fifth caller. That fifth caller will have to answer a trivia question about an alligator. If they get it right, they will be the fifth and final finalist that we will announce the winner live from Bill Kramer GM on Thursday while we being remote.
Will they have to be there Thursday, or do we know?
I think the goal is going to be we're going to announce them early, and then they got to come out.
Okay.
Gives them 2 hours. We'll announce the winner right in that first segment.
I got you.
And they'll come out and hang out with us at Bill Kramer GM.
Cool.
But yeah, you want to go over our results of our picks?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it because I feel like I had a pretty bad week.
Well, you were second this week.
Okay.
Yeah. David Hayes, he said he took some gambles, and they didn't pay off. We'll start with the first game, Michigan, Penn State. You and I took Michigan. David took Penn State. People calling in already for that contest.
Yes, they are.
And so Michigan won that one. The next game was Tennessee at Missouri. You and David took Tennessee. I took the Missouri Tigers. You did do good on these next two, though. We had Oklahoma State at UCF, and you took UCF.
Okay.
It's like you knew.
Wow, I cannot believe
45-3 in that one. Me and David both took Okie Dokie State and lost that one. Next one, we had Rutgers at Iowa. Me and David both took Rutgers. You took Iowa. So you got you were 3 out of 4 in those first two. David was 0-4. I was 2-4. The next game we had Auburn at Arkansas. Y'all both took Arkansas. I took those Auburn Tigers.
Good for you.
About time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, this is for millions of dollars, so it doesn't really matter. Colts at Pats. One of us dumb people took the Pats, and that was me. Y'all both took the Colts on that one. You go back, you're like, why on earth did I take the Pats? They're so bad. Oh, all three of us took the Titans and the Bucks. We know the Bucks won that one. Lions and Chargers. David took the Chargers. We took the Lions. Lions got that one done on that walk-off field goal. Jets, Raiders. You took the Jets, Jets. They were looking good there towards the end, but then that late touchdown pass, the rest was history. David and I both took the Raiders. You took the Jags. Me and David took the Niners.
Can I phone a friend this week for the pick 'em on Friday?
Oh, it's not. You just tell them to call in.
I feel inadequate, man. I do.
Well, you've got 52. I've got 57, and David is leading at 60. So it's still pretty close. We got a couple weeks left to go.
Okay.
I thought I gave up the lead for sure this week.
No,
man.
you were 3 out of 10, and you had a 6-point lead going into it, and I was 6 out of 10. So I just basically cut the lead in half.
I don't know if there's any game that I really would have changed. I mean, because yes, I was taking gambles, but I really thought Rutgers was going to give. I mean, I thought they were going to score more than 0 points.
And a goose egg. Yes, absolutely. The under was certainly hit. That is for sure.
And Penn State, man, I know we didn't talk much about that game, but I almost wanted to not watch the game. Because it was like you were playing Madden, letting the computer pick your plays, and it was run up the middle, then we're either going to pass to the outside or we're going to quarterback draw.
Did Penn State's offensive coordinator get fired?
Yes.
Okay.
Was Penn State in their all whites Saturday, or did they? They seem to play better when they're in the all whites, but
no, they were in their blue
navy,
and white.
Blue and white. Yeah,
they're traditional.
They're traditional colors there. But yeah, I mean, I think Jim Franklin is like 3-17.
Yeah,
it's something that matters. I don't know, against top 10 teams or something like that. But yet they fire the offensive coordinator. Why do they keep Franklin up there?
I mean, he had a good run over there at Vanderbilt, and then because they're securely the second best team, or the best team in the second tier in the Big Ten, and then there's other times where they can be up there with the big dogs, and I think you got to give Penn State another year. I don't think that they're up. Not saying James Franklin, but I'm saying this team that Penn State had is kind of looking more towards next year, or at least when we're watching them is like, okay, this is building for next year. But I mean, they hung in there. I feel like with some more creativity, they could have knocked off.
And that's
Michigan,
maybe why they fired the OC.
But Michigan, again, they didn't even attempt a pass in the second half. So.
Did you see the picture of Blake Corum's face after the game? Did you see that, Jay Henry?
Who is Blake Corum?
Their running back.
He's the owner of Charlie Quorum's over there.
Yeah. You should have saw his face.
Oh yeah.
But no, he was just running the ball, and you know how you split right there from impacts, and he just had blood all over his face.
Geez.
It was a very epic photo, nonetheless, and you could tell the Michigan folks were not happy with the Harbaugh thing, and that's a little bit of motivation. You don't have your head coach out there on the field leading you. He obviously isn't going to be out there for the big Ohio State game, so we'll see how that plays out. But talk about, everybody's behind him at Michigan, like Alan was talking about in the last segment. It kind of seems like a little bit of a witch hunt, and it's just surprising that the Big Ten is as anti-Harbaugh as it is.
True. Yeah, I don't get it.
I guess we'll find out what all happens. Motivation.
Bet.
That's what they were all saying. All the players were tweeting bet. You know when the kids say that.
What's that mean?
Like, hey Jay, you want to go play some football? Bet.
Okay.
He's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
I'm trying to keep up with it, man. It's hard.
Dude,
it's
you
hard.
can't keep up with it because in another 2 weeks it'll change to some other phrase.
Yeah, it will.
It's weird how all this stuff catches on.
Yeah.
NFL playoff picture. Who's the number 1 seed in the AFC side?
Gosh, you're going to put me on the spot like this?
I always put you on the spot, Jay.
Let's
go.
go.
Makes it fun. Who won the Super Bowl last year?
Oh, Kansas City. Okay.
There you go. Number 1 seed. Ravens still holding down the number 1 seed or number 2 seed, even though the Cleveland Browns walked off that field goal against them. They're 7-3, holding down that 2 spot. What's wild is you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the 3rd spot, 6-3, because they're leading their division, and they own the tiebreaker over the Miami Dolphins based on strength of victory. Miami Dolphins leading the AFC South. They're 6-3, number 4 spot. The Pittsburgh Steelers are also 6-3, quietly 6-3 in my opinion as well. You see a little bit of a tussle at the end of that game. Got a little chippy there at the end between the Steelers and the Packers there.
I did not see that.
A little bit of a tussle, a little bit of excitement there. They're number 5 seed. They have the tiebreaker over the 6-3 Cleveland Browns as they've got a better head-to-head win percentage. But you've got 3 teams from the AFC North currently in the AFC playoff pictures. Who would ever thought the one team not in the playoff picture from the AFC North is?
Cleveland Browns.
No.
Oh.
Steelers.
No.
Wait, what's the question?
That's my bad. I actually was asking Jay directly that one. So you've got.
You said pay attention no matter what question you're
That's
asking.
true.
Sorry, boss.
That is true. I appreciate you listening. But yeah, so the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are all currently in the playoff picture if the season were to end right now. Which team, I just gave you the answer, is not in the playoff picture from the AFC North?
I don't know.
Who went to Ohio State but played for LSU? Quote him.
I don't know.
You won a championship with.
You were talking
LSU
about him earlier with
2019.
Alan about like he just.
Burrow.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
So what team?
Cincinnati.
There you
Thank
go.
Yeah.
You've got 3 out of the 4 teams from the NFC North currently in the AFC playoff picture, and the Bengals aren't one of them. Number 7 in the playoff picture currently is that C.J. Stroud-led Houston Texans. They're 5-4. So are the Bengals. So are the Bills. The Colts are 5-5. The Raiders are 5-5. Very, very close there. These games are starting to really matter a lot. But Houston owns the tiebreaker over Buffalo and Cincinnati based on best win percentage in conference games. Pretty wild that the NFC North has 3 teams currently in the playoff picture.
Wild.
And the worst record in that division is 5-4. And it's currently the Cincinnati Bengals. Tough division. Those divisional games are really going to matter here coming down the stretch. Pivoting over to that NFC side of things, you've got the who's leading the NFC?
Oh, San Francisco 49ers.
No.
Dang.
They're not even in second.
Oh, they're not?
They're 6-3.
Let's see.
Best record in the league.
Caveman
Rick lives for these sports teams. I got to give you hints that aren't like great hints, but maybe you should know hints.
Hold on. I don't know.
They have a jail in their stadium.
Okay, Philadelphia.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what does it for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Philadelphia Eagles are 8-1. Best record in the NFL. Best record, obviously, in the NFC. Who's number 2 seed in the NFC right now?
Dallas.
No. Dallas Cowboys are in the playoff mix, though.
Yeah. Man, I was really.
Coach is a meathead kind of guy. That's what everybody dubs him as, anyway.
He bites kneecaps.
Bites kneecaps.
Ooh, dang.
It's really their time. They've been suffering for a long time.
Okay. You picked them last weekend, or over the Friday. You picked them.
Oh, I did, huh?
Yes. You and me and David picked the Chargers.
Eminem hails from there.
Oh, Detroit.
There you go. You just gotta find what triggers the memory. That's for sure. Yes, the Detroit Tigers are Tigers. The Detroit Lions. Jay.
The Michigan Bears.
The Michigan Bears. They're currently 7-2, holding down that second best record in the NFC. Also tied for second best record in the NFL. Who's got the 3 seed? Come on, this is an easy one.
I keep 49ers.
There you go. They're 6-3, leading the NFC West. They own the tiebreaker over Seattle because they are 2-0 in the division, which is the second tiebreaker there. Seattle Seahawks are also 6-3. Who's the number 4 seed? This is one of those situations where, like, people talk about it all the time. Should a division winner get a seed in the top 4, even though their record is not better than the 3 teams behind them in the playoffs? Your former division.
NFC South, so it'd be the Texans. Did we say? No, the Texans are not.
Yeah, they're in the AFC. They are currently in the playoff picture.
Okay.
Come on, you got this.
Saints.
Yes. There you go. Saints are 5-5, leading the division, holding down that 4th playoff spot. Likely the NFC South winner is probably going to have I would want to be the who plays the 5th seed is going to be a good spot to be if you don't win your division. So right now that'd be held by the Seattle Seahawks because they're going to have to most likely play the winner of the NFC South as far as the division's concerned. Saints 5-5, holding down that 4th spot. The number 5 spot, Jay Henley, I just mentioned them.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Texans?
No, Texans are not. Yes. Why do you keep going back to the Texans? We already solved this problem.
Yeah, we did.
One of the tougher places to play. They got some wicked colors.
Do they?
Yes. John Keel was wearing these colors in practice last week.
You weren't at practice to see JK.
Special teams coach. One practice, you couldn't even be there.
There's no I in team, man. Come on, help me out.
Sean Alexander played there.
That's not going to help.
Back in the day, back in the 90s, their helmets were silver.
Yes. Matt Hasselbeck played there.
I do know that name.
It rains a lot in this particular city.
Seattle.
We just have to get off of football.
Yes, it has to be some kind of city term. Yes, Seattle Seahawks are 6-3 after they walked it off again yesterday against those Washington Commanders, beating them 29-26, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
They own the tiebreaker over Dallas based on best win percentage in conference games. So who has the number 6 seed, Jay Henley?
Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happened. See, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Teed it up, and you hit it off the tee.
I did.
There you go.
Good
they
scramble.
are also 6-3. Little ham and egg there. They and then who's the number 7 seed? The last spot. This is wild.
Oh man.
New quarterback. You were talking about him pre-show.
Okay.
If you can't throw, you do what?
Sometimes these things are mistaken for wasps when they're really mud daubers.
Oh, God.
It just gave you the name of the quarterback.
I don't know.
Dobbs. Josh Dobbs.
Oh, Dobbs.
Who does Josh Dobbs play
the
for?
Vikings.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at you. You knew that. I'm proud. So they hold down that last and 7th spot with a 6-4 record, and then it pivots pretty good to 5-4 with the Bucks being in that 8 seed. Washington Commanders, Falcons, Packers. And right now you've got a race for that last spot. Worst record in the league right now is the Carolina Panthers at 1-8. But do you remember we talked about it last week? Who owns the number 1 pick from the Carolina Panthers?
I don't remember that one.
Bears.
Oh, okay.
So the Bears are in a very precarious spot here, or probably not precarious because I think that's a negative thing. So they own that number 1 pick from the Panthers right now. The Panthers would have the number 1 pick. The Cardinals did win yesterday over the Falcons, so they are now 2-8. New England Patriots are also 2-8, and the Chicago Bears are moving on up at 3-7. So they're going to want to keep doing good, and the Carolina Panthers keep going the opposite direction there. So there's your playoff breakdown as we are about to approach week 11 in the NFL season. Pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Pretty crazy indeed. And, college football's only got 2 weeks left in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
It is sad.
Next week is Thanksgiving week.
Gosh. this is
You taking Sailor up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take a little family vacay.
A little vacay with Sailor?
Yep. It'll be
But she knows how to ride in a car. I mean, you guys rode all the way down from north of Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. She loves the car.
There you
loves
go.
it.
She knows she's going.
That's right.
Going
You
with
got
Dad.
that right.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Well,
I know what your Thanksgiving's going to consist of. It's going to be that 49ers Seattle Seahawks game, I would assume.
But they're not playing the Seahawks. Or are they?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they are.
I was thinking this week, the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah.
That's a big match. That's a huge game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is.
The winner gets to eat some turkey.
Right.
Is it in Seattle?
Yeah.
Or is it at home?
Yeah, I thought
it's in Seattle on the road. That's a hostile place to play, and it certainly gets loud. It got pretty loud in Jacksonville yesterday. I was impressed.
So is it NBA that's really during Christmas, right? Like, there's not a lot of NBA going.
I think NBA always plays like a triple header or something like that on Christmas. Yeah, absolutely.
But not on Thanksgiving, though. Like, or a little bit, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that one off the top of my head. But I do know that coming up here in this break in just a moment, we're going to be taking the 5th caller for the Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Fall Football Finale. We've already got Ricky Barnes, Travis Peterson, Coach Olds, and Steve Wiley as our 4 winners for that final offering of, I didn't have a good word for that, final chance to win a pair of tickets. But this is your last opportunity to become a finalist. 15%, is it 15?
What?
Chance. Oop, caller 1. There you go. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We've already had one, so your chances are getting better. Give us a call, 850-215-6290. We'll talk to you when we get back.
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer, is thankful for your support this year and is giving you holiday savings on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia. Just in time for holiday travel adventures, now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $2,165 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Quality is limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/24.
You hear it first. Sports talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I know it seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It is now time, Jay. It is our 5th finalist that we're trying to get here for the Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Fall Football Finale. We have David on the line. David, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for listening. All those good things. Here's your trivia question about alligators. The brain size of an alligator is what? It is either the size of a dime, a $50, or a quarter. What is your answer? Oop, did we lose David? Jay, don't give away the answer.
Oh, man, yeah, no kidding.
I know you know it, too.
I mean,
alligator enthusiast.
Well, I'm all tensed up here, man, because I'm trying to figure out, yes, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Jeez.
And there's not a big difference. Well, there's a difference between a couple of them, but.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had a $50 coin?
It's been a while. How about you?
I got a little bank of them when I was a little fella.
Yeah.
And I still have quite a bit of them.
Do you have any Susan B. Anthony's?
I think I might have a couple Susan B. Fun fact, when I played high school golf, I always used a Susan B. Anthony dollar coin to mark my ball.
Ah, well, how about that?
There you go. Little fun fact. Do we have David back on the line? Whoop, David.
Let's go over to Drew.
All right, let's kick it to Drew. David, sorry about that. Not know what's happening. Drew, are you there?
I am.
Drew, how are you doing today?
No, well, pretty good, thank you.
Excellent. Let's hopefully you heard the question, but if you didn't, the alligator's brain size is what? The size of a quarter, the size of a dime, or the size of a $50?
I think it's a $50.
Unfortunately, that is not correct there, Drew. Thank you for calling and giving us so we'll take another call if we can get David back on the line. He was there. If not, we will take the next caller there. And it's down to, you got a 50-50 shot now.
Yeah, or Drew, call back.
Well, it's smaller than a $50, which is wild to think how small their brain is.
Yeah. So $50, we're out. So
$50 out. It's a 50-50 shot there. I think we got our next caller on.
We got David on.
David is back on. David, by process of elimination there, you got a 50-50 shot at alligator brain size. Either going to be a quarter or a dime. What you got?
We're going to go with the dime.
Oh, no. Oh. It is not a dime either.
Uh-oh.
All right. If there's somebody else out there, give us a call. You know the answer. Just give us a call, 850-215-6290. The phone line is lit. Jay Henley.
Oh,
it was a 33.33333 repeating percent chance. Then it went to a 50% chance. Now it's a 100% chance if you were paying attention. We got another caller on the line. Who do we got out there? Bobby, what you got for us? Hopefully you were listening. The size of a alligator's brain is either the size of a dime, a quarter, or a $50. If you were paying attention, what do you got? Bobby. Man. Oh, all right, Bobby, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if you could hear us. We couldn't hear you. So hopefully you were paying attention and you've already got this in the bag. But the size of an alligator's brain is either a dime, a quarter, or a $50. What do you got?
I'll go with the quarter.
There it is, right there. Process of elimination. Bobby, you are a finalist. 1 out of 5 finalists for the Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Fall Football Finale. Make sure you're listening this Thursday coming up. We will announce the winner at the start of that show. We'll be right there at Bill Kramer GM. We'll be live and remote. We're excited to do that. And, congratulations. Thanks for listening. Jay, you want to ask Bobby any questions?
Yeah. Hey, Bobby, who is your favorite college football team?
Since I moved down here, I've become a Gator. I'm originally from Maryland, so
okay.
I like the Terps.
Hey, well, one of our guys out there at Bay Point, Alex, he's from Maryland. He's a big Terps fan.
Huge.
That is for sure.
What about your NFL team, Bobby?
The Ravens, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. What do you think about the NFC North this year with currently 3 out of the 4 teams being in the playoff race, with the Bengals the one not being in it currently?
Yeah, I don't know. We got one more game. Actually, we got Bengals Thursday, so that'd be pretty weird if they all made it.
Yeah, that would be wild if 4 teams. Oh, it's definitely possible. That is for sure. Yeah. That is for sure.
Yeah, but it's a tough division. That was a tough loss yesterday for us, too.
Man, kind of a wild game. Just who would have thought,
we just
too?
Can't seem to hold on to that lead.
Yeah, that's the NFL. I mean, if you're a college fan and an NFL fan, there's such a stark difference between the two leagues.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're just not going to win all the games. And, you just got to be able to handle the losses. That's for sure.
Bobby, what do you like to watch as far as from a fan perspective? Do you like to watch football or baseball? Like, what's your best sport to watch?
Football by far, yeah.
Okay.
Sport.
Cool.
Baseball's okay, but I'd rather be at a baseball game. Of course, I'd rather be at any game. But
yeah, I'm with you there.
Football, yeah, by far.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, good, man.
Well, Bobby, we appreciate you. I know you're an avid listener. We appreciate that, and we're excited you got that. Make sure you're paying attention Thursday at the start of the show, as we're going to announce a winner in that one, and we're going to be sending
Thursday At 11, right?
Thursday, right there, starting the first segment of the show. We'll be live from Bill Kramer GM, and thanks to Bill Kramer GM and Chris and the whole crew out there providing 2 tickets to that FSU Florida game coming up on November 25th. Just going to be an awesome atmosphere to go to, regardless of what happens in that game. So, thank you, Bobby.
My wife's a Seminole fan, so that would be pretty interesting.
That would be fun, no doubt about that. So she's got to be pretty excited about how this season's going.
Yeah. Oh, she is. Trust me, she is.
It's well worth the wait. That's for sure. Bobby, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. Jay, do you want to do a little bit of picking up where we left off?
We could. Friday? Yeah, we could do a little story time with Jay, if you will.
Your mom said you're a fantastic reader.
Man, now I'm going to be nervous.
That's the most mom comment ever. Son, you're such a good reader.
She's my biggest fan, and I love her to death. So
that's how it's supposed to be,
always
right?
Be my biggest fan.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I guess kind of to go back, this guy is at the Shinnecock Hills in 1995.
U.S. Open.
Bill Clinton's our president. He's in relations with Monica Lewinsky at the time.
I don't think that's in the article.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, let's keep going. So, yeah, in 1995, he goes to the Shinnecock Hills, and he takes some shrooms. And he's out on the grounds. He's got a new girlfriend named Rachel, who
Moneybags, right?
Moneybags Rachel, who's gotten him to Shinnecock Hills. I'm sure it was a big ticket back in '95. But he's taking the shrooms. They starting to turn on him a little bit, aren't they, Ryan? I mean, like from what I can remember.
Yeah, because it was good. It was all exciting, and then right as you were finishing up last Friday, they started to take the turn.
Yeah,
that a lot of people have had the turn taken, and they've never taken the shrooms again.
And of course, Greg Norman, the live guy that he is, he turns into this alien. So but yeah, let's keep going here. You guys ready?
We're always ready. Sitting on go, as they say.
I want to make sure I get to the right spot. Okay. All right, here we go. Then something even more horrific happened. Rachel saw her boss in the crowd.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He was a founding partner at her accounting firm and one of her father's oldest friends. And he was on to us. The patrician executive was staring directly at Rachel, disgusted with the degenerate druggie sullying his firm's reputation, or she imagined. In truth, the boss was casually talking to another golf fan and didn't even see Rachel. It didn't matter. Seeing him was the ultimate buzzkill. Now Rachel was convinced she was about to be fired, blacklisted, or disowned. Just like that, all the promise of the day melted away. For Rachel, anyway, I was busy trying to decide if the mustard stain on my shirt was actually a treasure map. Eventually, Rachel got my attention. She was in tears, on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and absolutely, without doubt, don't even blank argue with me. I'm glad I caught that.
Well, you read a word last time. It wasn't bad. It was like a donkey. You read it out loud.
Don't even blank argue with me. Had to leave the tournament right away. Then something extraordinary happened. Most pundits agree that Tiger's 40-30 in the first round of the 97 Masters, which was a great round, on-course adjustment in golf history. Impressive stuff, but he couldn't touch what Rachel pulled off that day. Using nothing but a cup of coffee and sheer willpower, she somehow forced herself down from the trip. 5 minutes later, her visions were gone, and she was back on Earth. It's by far the most awe-inspiring thing I've ever seen on a golf course. After Rachel rallied, I did too. The late afternoon light grew more spectacular, and my sense of warmth and wonder returned. Over the last 4 holes, I was one of Shinnecock's sublime landscape. If there's a higher plane of existence, I had found it. Oh, man. I wish I could say the same for the pros. The conditions grew increasingly brutal, and the Shark limped home with a 74. Ozaki's back nine, 44, left him with a round of 80.
Yikes. That's some U.S. Open golf if I've ever heard it.
Even my purple god couldn't play Shinnecock Hills in that wind. As the last putt dropped, the party came crashing to an end, and we discovered a fatal flaw in our strategy. We had no way home. The train station was packed, and I was still flying. No way I could navigate that massive pulsing humanity. Now it was my turn to panic. Oh, boy. Here we go. We wandered the parking lot hoping for a miracle, and finally a stranger in a beat-up brown station wagon took pity and offered us a ride. At this point, the golf gods just wanted me to leave. The ride home was uneventful until a Long Island trooper pulled us over and motioned for us to get out of the car. Sure that we were busted, I tried to jump out of the car, confess everything, and beg for mercy. This guy's tripping.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, the driver stopped me. The trooper was actually a traffic cop waving out our car through the intersection. As we passed by, I told the officer I loved him. Keep going?
Yeah, you got a couple.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, how many?
We're at Rachel's house now.
Okay, let's do a couple paragraphs, and then we'll call it.
So now we're at Rachel's house. I hadn't quite landed yet. In the cool Southampton evening, I sat on the lawn with a friend and played catch with a tennis ball, laughing about everything that happened that day and nothing at all. Between giggles, I made ridiculous behind-the-back grabs I never could have pulled off unmedicated. For a few minutes, I finally saw the world through Doc Ellis's eyes. At this point in the story, Hunter S. Thompson and P.J. O'Rourke would have jumped back in the punch bowl and sailed off on a 3-day bender. But I could feel the ride was over and was fine with that. Somehow I knew that trying to prolong the ecstasy would have been a colossal mistake. The next day, Rachel and I watched Corey Pavin win the tournament on TV. Corey Pavin.
What, he hit a 7-wood into 18, something like that?
Let's see.
It's one of the more famous shots in golf, if I'm not mistaken.
Now I do remember. Was there water up front?
I don't think so. Elevated green.
Elevated green.
Up on the right, clubhouse in the background.
Yep.
Some kind of fairway wood.
Yes.
1 to 3 wood. Could have been a 5, but a 7 just sticks in my mind.
The old Callaway Heaven 7.
The Heavenwood.
The Heavenwood.
My dad had those.
Oh, it's fantastic.
7-woods are completely underrated.
They are. They're starting to come back around.
They are. It's wild.
The next day, Rachel and I watched Corey Pavin win the tournament on TV. Stone cold sober. In time, our relationship faded. Aw.
Well, when you build a relationship on shrooms.
Thanks, yeah. But I still think fondly of her. I wish I could say the same for Norman. Ooh. I never tried psychedelics again. And in retrospect, shrooming at the U.S. Open was a really stupid thing to do. At least that's what I'll tell my kids when they finally hear this story. Maybe there's kids are listening.
Wow, I didn't realize we were almost done, so might as well just finish it.
We are, yeah. The fact is that was one of the great days of my life, a magical journey that gave me memories I can never erase. I fully expect the last image I'll see as I leave this earth will be a fiery purple Jumbo Ozaki silhouetted against that mesmerizing Long Island summer sky. I haven't been back to Shinnecock since that glorious day, but the Open will return there in 2026.
There you go.
The end.
I think who won it the last time?
Oh,
because it's been back since. Wasn't Goosen, was it? Anyway, we only got about a minute left. Jay Henley, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to get out there with the crazy story, but it was sports related.
It was.
And you live golf, Greg Norman. It's all come full circle. We were talking about the World Tour back then. Real quick, Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills, Monday Night Football, 7.5. Taking it or laying it?
I'm going Bills.
You're laying the 7.5?
24-10.
Yep. There you go. Right now, 78% of the money is on the Denver Broncos plus 7.5, while 58% of the bets is on the Bills minus 7.5. Sharps really like the Broncos plus 7.5. David Hayes, you taking the points or you laying the points?
I'm taking the points.
There you go.
No, I'm going to lay them.
Bills.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Broncos plus 7.5. Wreaking some hammock on the AFC. You've been listening to the Inside Drive. We'll be back tomorrow. Check out the Afternoon Underdogs, 4 p.m. Congratulations to all our finalists. Looking forward to giving away a pair of tickets on Thursday.
Evolution in Sports Talk Radio.
And we're back!
On 104.3 ESPN.